What's up, everyone? This is Zarina, your Upland newbie, and I am going to bring you my speculations for Las Vegas. So let's go ahead and jump into it. As you all know, Las Vegas is opening in Upland, and we can finally stop speculating about which city it's going to be. So now that we know it's Vegas, let's talk about which collection areas might be a thing in Upland. So starting off, I got this map here to show you that we don't really know where properties are going to be when Las Vegas opens up, because Las Vegas itself is, as you can see, Las Vegas, but there's other parts of Vegas that are, well, there's other parts of the city or other cities that are considered by Vegas as Las Vegas, but they're actually other areas, and specifically actually other cities like Henderson and Boulder City are both separate cities. And then we have, like, Paradise, which is not actually a city, but it's like, its own unincorporated little place. But I'm concerned about places like Henderson and places like Boulder City with whether or not they'll actually be included. So I've saved my speculations for those areas for the last part of this, and then we'll talk about the areas that are definitely probably going to be, a part of this as Las Vegas. So we'll go with that notion. But just saying, Henderson and Boulder City, those are separate cities, and we do have places that might be there, but we'll have to find out when Upland opens up. All right, so right now, obviously, everyone's probably thinking that the Strip itself is going to be a thing, right? So I'm not going to even talk about the Strip as the Strip. I'm going to say what's around the Strip that people who are interested in Upland might also think might be collections. So museums are a thing in Las Vegas, and we have quite a few museums. I'm just pointing out a few of them that are going to be around the area that people are naturally going to want to mint in, because the Fremont experience is on Las Vegas Boulevard, and I believe a lot of people are already going to be going down Las Vegas Boulevard trying to mint because the Strip is on Las Vegas Boulevard as well. So you want to come down when you head north up the Strip. You'll get to the Fremont experience, and around that area you'll see there's Main Street, which I think Main Street has a huge chance of being a collection, as well as obviously Fremont Street. But there's this Children's Discovery Museum, there's the Mob Museum, there's the Neon Museum, there's the Las Vegas History Museum, and you don't see in this picture, but there's also a Haunted Museum. There's a bunch of museums, so make sure if you're like thinking that you're trying to nail some museums, you keep an eye out and grab some of these as potentially being, if they're not going to be collections, there are people who are in the game who like to collect museums, so you might just go ahead grab them for that purpose. All right, what I also noticed when I was going through is that people, or Las Vegas, we have a bunch of golf clubs. So golf clubs themselves might be collections. So there's a bunch of different communities that are within golf clubs, and I'm just pointing out a few here that I think are actually of pretty a good chance of if the golf club were going to be in collections, or if they're going to pick certain ones. These ones have great potential. The TPC Summerlin, Red Rock Country Club, Bears Best Las Vegas, the Summit Club. So I would definitely be checking those out as something I would look at, and I would definitely look at homes around that area. Another thing that people might, I'm not sure they'll go back as far as like Bonnie Springs, but back there are some homes, so who knows. But anyways, these country clubs and these golf clubs, if you look at Las Vegas and look at all the different golf clubs, it seems like if I were making collection suggestions to the Upland team, I'd be like, hey, make it, if they have a home in a golf club, that that's a collection. Maybe, we don't know, but just me pointing it out to you, those are the good ones. All right, so if you think about how Upland breaks up neighborhoods sometimes and says, oh, if you have it in this area, it might be a collection. Well, I'm pointing out that this John S. neighborhood, John S. neighborhood. It says it's an official historic district. So if you're looking for historic districts, this one itself might be a collection. And then here's the map to kind of give you an idea of what's in that area, so where the streets are. So one thing I want to point out to you, you can see Las Vegas Boulevard, and then this whole area is near the Arts District. The Arts District is across the way over there on Charleston. But what I want to point out to you, within this John S. Neighborhood Park, what seems to be a part of it is the Little Las Vegas Chapel. And I think this one has a great chance of being a rare. Lots of people come to Vegas to get married, and that Little Las Vegas Chapel is very popular. It's like, I think it's been in a bunch of movies, and so I just can't imagine if, that not being a thing if you grab that particular chapel. So keep that in mind. Maybe John S. Park neighborhood itself might be a thing, but the Little Las Vegas Chapel, I definitely consider that property itself being something to try to grab. Also, take note, there's that Zach Baggins, maybe it's Baggins, haunted museum over there. So just keep that in mind as far as this area goes. Okay, let's move on. The University District, another area that I think has a good chance of potentially being a collection by itself, is the University District. By the University District, you're going to have UNLV, the popular UNLV is the university here in Las Vegas. But just around that area itself, there's lots of little homes that are older, that are just kind of unique, been around a long time, and lots of college people like the area. So I check it out. I think about it. There's the India Market not too far by. The airport is nearby there too. But then this street particular that I thought might be a potential collection is East Naples Drive. So East Naples, it does have the gay culture there, and it's a very small little area, but that street itself, that's where a lot of places are. So just, who knows? You know how Upland is. We don't know what's going to be a collection and what's not. They might throw a curveball, but I would say if you're around that area and you can grab some East Naples Drive, it might be worth it. All right, the Hun Ridge. If you can get this property, it is on 1208 East Charleston Boulevard, and I believe Charleston Boulevard itself might be a thing. But this particular property, it's coming back. Right now it's closed, but they're going to renovate it, and it's one of the most historically famous places in Las Vegas. So definitely be on the lookout for it. They are renovating it, like it says here. It's one of the most renowned and historically significant buildings in Las Vegas will soon be brought back to life as the renovation of the Hunt Ridge Theater is moving forward. So I would definitely be thinking about that as a potential collection. And even if it's not a collection, I believe lots of people who are into Las Vegas would want that property if you came around to grabbing it. All right, so this is kind of like a Vegas thing, and maybe people who aren't from Vegas won't care about this, but Crystal Palace is now Skate Rock City, and Crystal Palace skating ring was huge for people who live in Las Vegas. We loved this place. We didn't want it to close, and Floyd Mayweather purchased it and kept it open. So now what was Crystal Palace is Skate Rock City, and it's owned by Floyd Mayweather. So I was thinking, who knows? We never know. It's owned by a celebrity, and it's kind of, it's a thing to us. We love Crystal Palace. There is another Crystal Palace that is actually still Crystal Palace, but this location is now Skate Rock City. And speaking of this guy, he is he's also a homeowner in Las Vegas, and he lives in one of the really elite places, which is Queens Ridge, and his home is on Kingsgate Court. So I have a little bit about Queens Ridge, but I think if you can get a place in Queens Ridge, a property out there, that might be worth it. And Queens Ridge itself might be a collection. So Queens Ridge is a gated community. It's got lots of really great homes, the Mediterranean style to different modern styles, but definitely a home for people who have a lot of money. This area is very elite. So maybe Floyd Mayweather's home or establishments owned by Floyd Mayweather could be a thing. We don't know. All right, so I'm just going to show you. There's their Queens Ridge, and I wanted to give you an idea that this area, it's not by the Strip. It's over. So look, it's in the west. So Wallop Highway is back this way, And there's Kingsgate Court. But I also wanted to point out over here the Cheesecake Factory, where that is over there. That little area is also very elite. Like the shopping's like really nice, and then there's homes over there. So I would just look around this whole area to be minting. Ulta itself might be a thing, and then there's the Suncoast Hotel Casino. All right. So Liberace was a thing. I don't know if people who are young know about Liberace or even care, and maybe people who are older don't care either. But Liberace's mansion is here in Las Vegas, and it is like one of those places. Like, what is it? It's a historic place, so that might make it a rare. It could be. It's possible. There's the address for people who might be interested. So Liberace's mansion. Okay, another place with celebrities that is popular here in Vegas is Little Bavaria, which was Siegfried and Roy's landmark estate. It's located at 5050 North Rainbow Boulevard. And I definitely think if you can grab it, who knows, this might be a rare, because Siegfried and Roy are really huge on the Las Vegas Strip with their Tiger show, and they've both since passed away, and now their estate is there, so who knows. Definitely check it out if you can grab it again. There's the address. Not saying it's going to be a collection, but I just don't know. You never know with Upland, so just in case, there's the address. This particular place, I can't imagine it not being a rare, unless Upland research team just doesn't do that great of a job. But this particular property, Paradise Crest Manor, it's it's definitely famous here in Las Vegas. It's on YouTube as well. The new owners have put a video there. But this main house was purchased in 1974 by Lonnie Hammergren. And he basically made this house into a museum of all the stuff he collected. And if you drove by, you could see the stuff poking over the backyard. Like, what is that, a theme park in that guy's yard? But the house itself has been featured on numerous TV shows. It's been in a movie, so I definitely think this property might be worth trying to grab. Just even if it's not a collection itself, as far as being, one of those things in Las Vegas people would want, this is probably one of those properties. Okay, so UFC is here with a little complex. I'm not big into UFC, but I know a lot of people are, and so I put this address here just in case owning this particular property becomes a rare property, just because it's the UFC and they have this huge stadium. This complex is pretty huge, and the UFC people come train there. So if you're into UFC, there it is. There's the address for you. NASCAR and the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Obviously, if racing is coming to Las Vegas, people may want to grab the actual Motor Speedway, and it is located in the Las Vegas address, as I put that there, 7000 Las Vegas Boulevard, Las Vegas Boulevard North. So that's who, I don't know, even if it isn't a collection, I can't imagine people not wanting this property. So there you have it. Google map it and figure out if it's going to be an Upland, hopefully. But there you have it. All right, the Raiders Stadium, another place that I'm sure people are going to want to grab, whether or not it's a collection property or not. So if you're into the Raiders or if you're into sports, but I'm just thinking, if I'm going to open up one of those NFLP MetaVenture shops, I would definitely probably want to open it at the Raiders Stadium and sell some legits or something out of there. Who knows? But there you have it. But also, take a look here. So I'm not sure if these streets will be worth anything, but I do think it worth pointing out Dean Martin Drive, because there are homes and things on Dean Martin Drive and other properties, and also Frank Sinatra Drive. These particular ones, if you might grab properties on those driveways, those drives, they might be a thing. So I would just kind of like maybe keep that in the back of my mind, Al Davis way, all that. Okay, let's go on. Okay, so I put this one here because the Las Vegas Mormon Temple that is located at 827 Temple View Drive is quite famous. It's popular, and people who are Mormon really appreciate this place. And then I think just as architecture goes, people who are not Mormon really appreciate it too. It's really pretty, and it's lit up out there and it has a great view of Las Vegas. So if you're interested in, churches and things like that, this one might be worth grabbing. All right, the Las Vegas Convention Center, it's on Paradise Road, and I think Paradise Road is one of those ones people probably want to, keep in mind as a road that might be worth grabbing as a collection too. But this part is in the Winchester area, which I'll talk about too. But I think because this convention center is one of the largest centers in the world, and it's in Las Vegas, and we have so many conventions come through here, that having this convention center might be worth something. So there you have it. I have a lot to get through. All right, Las Vegas Springs Preserve. This is kind of like our little zoo. It's not quite a zoo, but it is one of our places where we can go see nature here in Las Vegas. And it's kind of considered like a museum, but I would think of it as a potential property that you might want to grab. It could be one of those rare properties. I put this in here because Las Vegas does still have a drive-in, and I'm not sure if other cities even have drive-in theaters anymore, but I feel like if I were looking for a rare property and I were, thinking, what's rare? To me, a drive-in is pretty rare. And if I could own this property in Upland, I think I would be pretty stoked. So it is on 4150 West Cary Avenue, and this is in North Las Vegas. So North Las Vegas is also its own separate city, but we'll see if Upland opens it up as Las Vegas, includes it. And if so, I would definitely be thinking about this drive-in as a potential grab. Another grab, kind of a weird one, but maybe people don't know how big to us Review Journal is in Las Vegas, but it's our paper here, and they do have a big old building, and it's on Bonanza. And if you want to own a newspaper, you might want to own this one. It's been open since 1909. It's Las Vegas' largest circulating newspaper, and it's also, obviously, it says the largest circulating newspaper in Nevada. So definitely kind of keep that in your mind as a potential place to grab. All right, so there's too many Boyd properties. I just figured Sam Boyd, owns a lot of properties here. So you can see there's the Aliante, the Orleans, Main Street, Gold Coast, Suncoast, Samstown, Cannery, Eastside Cannery, California, and Fremont. So together, I can imagine Boyd Properties being a collection. Like if you own one of those casinos, that might be a thing. So he also has a stadium, and who knows, grabbing those stadiums might be rare. So how you see Raider Stadium, Sam Boyd Stadium, who knows. Station casinos is another. So we have the Boyd casinos and we have the station ones. So if you get a station casino or Boyd, I could see those things. Obviously, Steve Wynn has a bunch of casinos here too, but I feel like because station casinos and Boyd casinos have like these chain list of all their casinos here, that it's possible that may be separate collections, like the Boyd or the station casinos. So there you have it: Fiesta Henderson, Fiesta Rancho, Green Valley, Palace Station, Santa Fe, Sunset, Texas Station, Wildfire, and Boulder Station. And, okay, so I put these in here because if you're in the desert, I feel like it's a big thing to have a water park. So we have two locations of Cowabunga parks. One of them used to be Wet and Wild, but now it's just both Cowabunga. So I feel like this would be kind of more like, if you've grabbed both water park locations, that might be a collection in itself. Who knows? But, keep that in the back of your mind. Water parks, Las Vegas. We got one on Fort Apache. The other one is in Henderson. So back to that whole quandary of will Henderson be involved? If it is, maybe both locations. All right, back to Winchester. I was talking about how Winchester is this unincorporated town. So within Winchester, there's this place called the Country Club Towers, and they were built back in 1973. And I was thinking maybe these places, like these towers, these early on towers, kind of like these high-rise communities that came to Las Vegas, might be kind of a collection too. Just high-rises in general. Like if you have a high-rise in Las Vegas, maybe it'll be a thing. But I feel like the older ones have greater potential of, maybe being a secret collection. Like, the first high-rises are the ones that used to be super elite back in the 70s. So Polo Towers being another place where, like those towers, this one actually, these were the first timeshares built on the Las Vegas Strip. So maybe having the Polo Towers, they're on the Strip, and they are timeshares. So it's not a casino. I could see this maybe being a grab. Turnberry Towers and more towers. So these ones are new. These are newer, not as old as the other ones. However, they're like, off the Strip. Not this one's like on Paradise. It's close to the Strip, but it's not quite there. And these are really nice skyrise, or what do they call it? Yeah, I guess skyrise apartments. Not quite like New York High or anything, but they're big. So Fremont, I think everyone knows Fremont is going to be possibly a collection. I can't see how it wouldn't be. The Fremont experience is over there, but also Fremont was actually built in 1905 and was Las Vegas's first paved street in 1925. So first paved street sounds like a big deal to me, but who knows? Okay, so we have the Arts District. I believe that the Arts District itself is super cool, but the whole area, what you're going to kind of notice is that the buildings have a lot of murals around. So if you start like getting street views, or if you're looking for street views, I'd say head over to the Arts District area, or not street views, but if you're looking for murals on your street view, the homes around the Arts District, that's where you probably find a lot of that, as well as in the older parts of West Las Vegas. But I'm just pointing out this area. If you're looking for murals, I would look at that. And if you're looking for a good place to buy with this love Las Vegas, that would be the Arts Factory building itself, which is on 107 East Charleston Boulevard. Charleston Boulevard being another street that I think you should go for. And this is just pointing out how there's lots of murals on the buildings around there, up Charleston, around Charleston, also by Fremont Experiences, up by 4th Street, 5th Street, around that area behind Fremont. All right, so now we're going to get into some of the communities. There are a lot of planned communities in Las Vegas, and Desert Shores is one of those. I already did a video about how I think this area is going to probably be, worth grabbing, because this is where you'll get actual homes with waterfront property. So Desert Shores, take a look at it. It's got I put the map over here so you can see a few different lakes that people could have homes on, and you just want to probably scout over there and see what you can get. Anything on the water would probably be worth grabbing. The Ridges in Summerlin. So I put a particular property here. Painted Featherway itself as a street, I think might be a good one to go for. There's a lot of really nice properties. I'm going to say really expensive homes, but really actually fabulous homes on Painted Featherway that have been owned by some pretty elite people. So the Ridges, this is in the Ridges at Summerlin. So I believe the Ridges is going to be a collection type of environment, or a planned community that could be a collection. So it says the crown jewel of Summerlin in Las Vegas, the village of the Ridges is arguably the most renowned community in all of southern Nevada. Situated amidst rising terrain at the foothills to the glorious Red Rock Conservation Area, the Ridges command some of the highest altitude and the best views in the entire Las Vegas Valley. And also nested within this exclusive setting is Bear's Best Golf Course. All right, so that's that Bear's Best Golf Course I pointed out to you earlier. I'm just saying, golf courses, the communities by them, I think that's the thing. So anyways, the Ridges, Painted Featherway specifically, that street, I would be looking at that. Canyon Gate Country Club, all right, another golf club place. Country Club. This one is a great place to look at. It has lots of waterfalls, lagoons, tons of nice properties, and I think this particular one right here, 8608 Scarsdale Drive. If you go check this property out, pull it up and go look at it inside and out, I can't imagine people not wanting it. It'll be so cool. But anyways, some people don't care about street views or even the properties themselves in real life, but I kind of do. I like having a nice property that's sweet. So this is a particular sweet property, but Canyon Gate Country Club, go pull it up and then, scout the whole area probably and grab some homes in that area if you could. All right, so there's Spring Valley. is another area that I think maybe are they going to go, hey, if you have something in Spring Valley, that's good. Or maybe they'll just focus, and so focus like, to the planned community. So I'm going to say check out Spring Valley, but specifically look at Spanish Trails. So Spanish Trails, it was actually the first guarded gate community in Las Vegas. So they're the first people to say, hey, we're going to put a guard at our gate. And you're going to have to get past this guard and the gate to get in here. This particular property right here, 5156 Scenic Ridge Drive, Las Vegas. It's beautiful. Look at that. I mean, that's one address that I'm going to be trying to get myself, because it's just like, wow, look at that property. Just one of many great properties out here in Las Vegas. So Spanish Trails, check them out. Southern Highlands. So this is Las Vegas still. So this is why I'm trying to stick with the places that are like actually Las Vegas. Check out this place. There's 30 Augusta Canyon Way. So beautiful. So Southern Highlands is another master plan community in Las Vegas. I think if you can get into Southern Highlands, you probably have a good chance of maybe having a collection. Also know there's Southern Highlands Golf Club. So once again, I'm just pointing out these places that are super fabulous tend to have a golf club in their community, or like that's their thing. So golf clubs, I'm just saying, I'm going to be trying to get me some golf club places. All right, Tournament Hills. This place, excuse me, it's one of my favorites, and I can't imagine. I feel like this is a very exclusive place. So there's not a lot of homes in this area. Tournament Hills actually is pretty small. And it says like there are only 120 homes in Tournament Hills, a little plus, making it a unique and exclusive custom home residency. But this particular home on 8920 Players Club Drive, which also Players Club Drive, that street name sounds like, is this going to be a thing, Players Club Drive? But if you go to this home, amazing tour. They have a virtual tour right now. I would definitely just pull it up. Go look at this home. I'm not a realtor, but I should be, because I will be freaking selling this place like right now. Whether it's on sale, I think, but definitely check it out. It's super, super nice. All right. So here's my price for people who kept watching me this long. This is my secret. This is my secret for you guys. You're welcome. I'll just say it now. This right here, I believe, is going to be the rare. And if not rare, exclusive. It's definitely, it's freaking known as Billionaires Row. It's known as Billionaires Row. And it's so exclusive. Okay, so Billionaires Row is the most exclusive single street. It's known as Enclave Court. That's the actual street address. It's guarded by a guard and gate, and there's just 9 little home sites, right? Just 9 little ones. Used to be only 6. Now there's 9 out there. David Copperfield, that's the Las Vegas magician. He's if you've never heard of him, look him up. He's a magician, but he's huge. He actually set a record back in the day when he paid $17.550 million for his Las Vegas mansion on 1625 Enclave Court. So there you go. There's an address for you that belongs to David Copperfield. Might be a thing, people might like that. But other people like Andre Agassi, Sheldon Eldison, the Herbst family, Fertitta families, they're over there. Steve Wynn actually has a home there too, but he's listed it. So I think if you can get a home right here in Billionaires Row on Enclave Court, you are looking at holding on to something good. So that's what I would be saying. I would be like, hey, if anything, I'm going to head straight to this area and try to mint this street myself. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get all 9 of those homes to myself. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so now that's my part of for Las Vegas. That's what I'm telling you to look at, those particular areas. But if you're going to get out of Las Vegas, and if we're going to move up to Henderson, obviously Lake Las Vegas is going to be where you want to look. But there's tons of homes up in Lake Las Vegas. So how they're going to play it out if they open it up, I don't know. But I would tell you, Lake Las Vegas Parkway, follow out all the way up, and you just keep going. And then you get into these little homes and stuff over there. I would just buy all the way over there. But anything like near the water, obviously, if you can find any property, that's where you would try to mint, because waterfront always seems to be like a good thing too. So yeah, Lake Las Vegas, it is up lake, it is up in Henderson, and it's way, way, way up there. So it's not in this, like, not close to the city, but it's like, it's worth grabbing if they do open up these areas. I also pointed out, so Summerlin South, that's an area, people are going to be looking over there, but I think I pointed out to you the places near Summerlin South, like the ridges. That's where you want to be looking at. But what I want to point out with this is also the Las Vegas ballpark is like over there in Summerlin, and then there's downtown Summerlin. So those areas I would try to mint in as well. But I wanted to point out with this particular slide, like, it seems like we have a lot of ballparks in Las Vegas, and I'm not sure if they're going to make a thing of ballparks themselves, but I just kind of want to point out, like, in this area there seem to be a whole bunch of ballpark things. So for people who like sports or particular ballparks, maybe there's a thing there. Just kind of maybe pointing out, what are they called? Trends? Okay, so Green Valley is also in Henderson. They have the district at Green Valley Ranch, which has a mix of different places, but there are some residential areas, like residences in the district, like little townhomes or condos. So if you can get a condo in the district, if they open that up, I would grab that. And then anything in Green Valley itself, Green Valley Ranch is like a super great area. So if they open up Henderson, check out Green Valley Ranch and also check out the district. Aliante Country Club. So this is in North Las Vegas, and I think if they open up in North Las Vegas, definitely check out homes in Aliante. Again, country clubs seem to be potential thing for collections, so I would be looking that way. And Anthem is also something that you should look at. So Anthem's up in Henderson. I think these have Henderson addresses. So they won't be, so that's why I'm like, not for sure, but if anything, if you can get an Anthem Country Club, do. So I think if they open up this area, this is another super elite place where you can find, potentially great deals on flippable, marketable properties. And then another Henderson one. So this one right here, it's so massive, and it's just like so amazing that I included it with the address, because just in case they do open up Henderson and this property is available, I'm just like, whoa, who wouldn't want this street view? So if that were the street view, in fact. But this is just a great property. Take it out for a tour or go on the tour. But I'm like, wow. So Henderson does have some great homes, and you just have to be like on the lookout if they open Henderson. Know where to go. So here are my streets and my areas that I think might have good potential for being collections. So as far as like boulevards, Las Vegas Boulevard, Lake Mead Boulevard, Charleston Blvd, Rainbow Boulevard, and Rampart Boulevard. I would definitely look at Rampart because that's up in Summerlin. Las Vegas Boulevard is where you're going to have your strip. And then those other Charleston Boulevards, like older, and I just think it's possible, I don't know. We don't know for sure. Desert Inn is an older street as well. There was a Desert Inn hotel, but Desert Inn just has a lot of history, so it's possible, being that it's an older street and goes through town, they might be like, yeah. Town Center is in Summerlin, and just in case, it's one of those streets, it does hit some really fancy areas. Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra, I pointed out, over there behind Caesar's Palace area. That's just, who knows. Dean Martin goes down a ways. I should have put on here Blue Diamond as well. But anyways, so check out Blue Diamond. But then we have our parkways. So Maryland Parkway, Sunset Parkway, Summerlin Parkway, Green Valley Parkway. I think, potentials, I would look on those areas. Oh, also obviously Paradise Road. If you find anything on Paradise, I didn't put that there because it's like near the strip, and I feel like everyone's going to be over there anyways. But just so you know, kind of have that in your mind, Paradise Road. And then as far as areas in town, Summit Club, if you're going up, if Henderson opens up, McDonald Highlands, The Southern Highlands is also up in Henderson or like the Las Vegas area. It kind of stretches out. The Ridges, I already pointed out. Tournament Hills, I already pointed out. Spanish Hills, I pointed out. Anthem Country Club and Country Club Hills. So those are where I look. I hope this helps everybody. I could not cover everything. There's actually there's a lot to Las Vegas that people just don't even realize. But I hope this helps out everybody who might be looking like, where should I look? This is what I'm thinking. So happy hunting, everybody. I'll see you in Upland.